So this is the bridge, and Five Finger Wood is just over there.
Over there.
Oh, I can tell you about Five Finger Wood.
What can you tell me about that? There you go.
You didn't
That's not, I haven't got to talk. Listen to the voice.
Go on then,
Yeah.
off you go.
No, I'm not telling you.
Oh, Hazel!
I can remember
Too
you.
fruity.
You with friends?
Too fruity.
You with
Like a
friends?
bit of fruity.
Hi, thanks for joining me today and welcome to Walks and Wonders.
Walking on, he's the walking man.
So today's video is a little bit different. It's probably of more interest to local people, but who knows. So as you may know, we have a few strands to this YouTube channel. Obviously got walking and wandering, hence the name Walks and Wonders. There's also the wildlife side. Doing quite a bit of filming down here at Danecroft Cottage with how they manage the land for wildlife. And the other strand to this channel is local history. So Steve and Judith Thompson, who own the land and live in this little cottage, were interested to get some local memories because this is a really ancient lane and kids and adults have been coming down here for absolute centuries. Recently we looked at doing some social history with people, kind of sharing their memories of childhood and what they remember about this little lane. Just show you here the map, and this little lane is on the edge of town, and what a lot of people remember as kids is coming down here out of town and going to play up in the woods. I think over there, and I mentioned it in the last video, there was a woodland known as Five Finger Wood, which is actually called Dale's Wood, and then just a bit further over there's what the kids knew as the Big Wood, which is Temple Grove, I think, or Temple Wood, Temple Grove. Just towards the end of this lane there's a little red brick bridge, and I was going to go down there and just talk about this video, but it's extremely muddy and flooded, so I can't do that. Anyway, what this video is about is last summer we managed to get two people who've grown up here. They're now well into their 80s, and they came down and shared their memories. Let's go over and meet Dave Hawkins, see what he remembers about this little lane, and then also shortly after that we'll meet Hazel Tricker, bring them together. Sadly, Hazel Tricker, who features in this video, had a fall and passed away last month, but I'm so glad we captured some of her memories, and I'm so glad that I was able to meet her because she's quite a character and she's a real live wire, and my thoughts and condolences go to her family. I'm so glad we captured some of Hazel's memories before it was too late. Now let's go over to that day in August last year and meet with Dave and Hazel and hear their memories.
You to come down.
It's quite possible, but that's different to what it was.
It's so different. So what do you remember about it? A little lane or footpath?
Just a little lane, yeah, because we shouldn't be coming down here.
Did you get told off for coming when you used to?
Oh yes, we didn't come down here as a walk. We come down here to get rabbits, if you like.
Oh, did you? And you would be able to go into the wood right to the river then?
Well, we weren't allowed to, but we did.
Yeah. Well, that's called playing.
Call it poaching, if you like. That's what it was.
And what?
You're going to see me for it there, as I say.
Who did you come down with then to poach? Was that a group of lads or?
I lived in Cherry Tree Road.
Right.
And that was quite right to say it was the roughest road in Stowmarket. Quite literally was the roughest road. So us boys found things to do, didn't we?
Yeah, obviously.
And our older boys, I don't know if I should mention them, but they're older than me, not strictly old, 5 years older.
Yeah.
Used to go with them, didn't you, in the end, and then you would then lead the next
generation. Yeah.
And myself and two other lads were very friendly, and we used to do this, come out and get rabbits.
And did you actually skin them and take them for the stew pot, or was that?
I was helped with the skin, and don't you worry about that.
But your dad used to.
Because my father used to do that, take them home, and they would be
you know the Royal William pub?
Yes,
The
yes.
Royal William pub. I used to get in there and I used to have a say, shake the dice
Oh, yeah.
like that, and the winner takes whatever. The rabbits were part of a prize, you know.
Right.
Not only with the dice, but with a, I'd sell them, but usually I was winners of a.
But you see, they were country ways, weren't they? I mean,
yeah,
that's happened
a price of pheasants, or
that happened up and down the country. I
Course
mean,
it did, yeah.
so
you remember that they had. Can I say my father was in the 39-45 war,
Right.
so we did have a father technically for 6 years, didn't I? So we learnt these things quite.
Yeah, obviously.
and how old would you have been? Were you school age then, or not?
I was born 35, started school when I was 5, so I was 1939 when the war started.
Right.
So it was 11 years. That was on, 39 to 45. I was in what would be called infant junior school, wasn't it? In this case, we learnt on our feet, if you know what I mean.
Well, coming down here was quite a trip from your
Oh,
house.
yes.
though. So why did you choose this particular place? Because you knew.
Because we went to school and other lads told us what to do. We didn't just come for that on our own. We knew this was here, but it really was going through the Five Finger Wood.
So everybody knew about this lane, and that it would take you to, I suppose, adventures. You could
Yeah.
have adventures when you were.
Well, you can call it what you like.
I'm going to call it an adventure.
Yeah, all right. Now, truthfully, I keep going back to this Territory Road thing.
Yeah.
And I think that I've told you, was there 70 kids or something like that?
Right.
Up that one road.
Oh, right.
So we had to find these things to do, didn't we?
Yeah.
And as boys didn't want to go girls with us, did we? So we used to come on our own, I mentioned loads of lads' names. And then this used to hide up, and when they used to creep up trying to catch us because we'd jump out on them, wouldn't we?
You remember it then, do you?
Yeah.
But I don't know who. I'd have to look back at our research to find out who was living here when you were here, because there's an infamous character called Mr. Beaumont. Beaumont, you would say, which is why the road is named
I know.
Beaumont
I know
Way.
the name of the road is Beaumont. That throw you, don't
But
it?
he was infamous for chasing away characters like you
I would be.
with a gun.
You might have met him.
You might have met him. And
Oh, yeah,
he used to hang all the dead birds, the rats. We've got all the traps, the original traps he used. And he used to, even though this was always been a public footpath and a popular lane, we've got records now back to the 16th century when this was called Giles Lane. You weren't here then. But from then, it clearly was in Mr. Beaumont's time, and he might have come just after you were a little lad.
Yeah.
But he didn't like people.
Can I just say, coming up this way
Yes.
to that's how I saw that.
Yeah.
That's how I saw
Yeah,
that.
because we used to go across the road and used to go to the thatched house on Coombs Lane, which was Auntie.
My auntie catches the
Yeah,
cuddles.
she lived just out on Coombs Lane in the thatched.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, that's my aunt used to live in there. They used to have a stall on the Stowmarket market.
Right.
In the market square.
Yeah.
Aunt Annie, my mother's sister.
And what were they selling on the market?
Brick-break, that sorts of thing, Aunt Annie, she'd sell. She used to have a little shop in Stow Street. Eventually, go, where Stow Street
Yeah.
is. Go down from the traffic lights today, go to the station, and you just bear off left. And it was on the right. There's a little shop, used to sell, well, bits I can remember, and she used to sell wool and wool. I definitely know she sold wool and things like that. Something I wouldn't be all that interested in. I was more
Probably
interested,
why you don't realise what she said.
Well,
I was more interested in the daughters.
we wonder whether that was the oxlip plant. Oxlip is very like a cowslip.
Yeah.
Do you remember if they had flowers? The five-finger wood, or you don't remember why it was named that?
Well, what was called Five Finger?
Yeah.
Well, we call it Five Finger because we gathered 5 fingers. The 5 fingers.
On the flower, on the
Yeah,
plant.
on the plant,
So it
yeah.
must have been oxlips.
Truthful.
Hazel Tricker, we don't know if you two know each other yet. Well, Hazel says she does.
Well, the face is familiar straight away. But I can't put a name to it.
You do know Dave Hawkins.
Yeah, that in Dave.
I am.
This is Dave Hawkins. Peggy, can I get you to come on this one?
The face is very familiar, so I don't.
Dave Hawkins, Hazel Tricker.
What Hazel what?
What was your name before you got married, Hazel?
Jolly.
Hazel Jolly, yes, because your brother Mervyn.
That's right, he died, didn't he?
He died. Mervyn and I were in the same year at school.
Were you?
Hello, Goose.
Oh, well, I thought that
Walnut Tree
David
Walk.
Hawkins, mother and father lived next door to me. I'm in Danes Court Avenue.
Uh-huh.
So you're a different David Hawkins to what I know. Being conned.
Well, no, I don't. Well, anyway, let's enjoy the conversation
Well,
with
you'll
Dave
say-
Hawkins.
Hazel Jolly, what about Mervyn Jolly?
Yeah, well, he died of leukemia.
Yeah, was he your brother?
By my brother.
Yeah, well, Mervyn and I were the same age.
Yeah.
We both went on national service the same day.
Did you?
We went on the same train the same day.
Did you really?
Yeah,
And
and-
whereabouts do
Also,
you
was
live?
Mervyn who married Anne Jolly?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I know her. Yeah.
Which Anne?
Man, Mervyn.
Mervyn's wife.
Mervyn's wife.
Yeah,
Mervyn.
there's
There's
another
another
one.
one.
Well, I know the other.
So we was both called Aldershot, on national
Yeah.
service, and Mervyn went on in the Army Catering Corps,
That's right, he did.
and I went to the Royal Army Service Corps. So we
Yeah.
went away together to Liverpool Street Station
Yeah.
in London, and then
Yeah.
the lorries that were going to take me here on a lorry, I had to get a train to Aldershot.
Well, good. Let's see. A small world.
Yeah, and
So where do you live now?
I live in Hawley now.
So you know Ev Shave.
Oh,
Evelyn. You know
Shave.
Evelyn.
Oh,
And Ian.
Evelyn Shave was on the phone at my house less than an hour ago.
No.
Yeah.
Something very funny. Do you mind me sharing?
No.
When you went, she was posted to Ireland,
Yeah.
Northern Ireland,
Yeah.
and I thought you were. What were you in there?
I was in charge of the bar.
She was in charge of a bar. I thought that was a great job in the war to be in charge of the bar.
Yeah. But that was just after the war.
Well, just
Yeah,
after the war,
yeah.
but still, you were
Yeah.
doing service over there.
Yeah.
And you went across the border to get
Oh,
supplies.
yes.
Go on, tell us.
Cigarettes and that. And we used to, they used to issue us with a bike.
Yeah.
And we used to smuggle. Well, when we got our uniform, they issued us, we called them passion killers.
Yeah.
So they're because
Yeah,
they
yeah,
said you'll be
strapped, yeah.
glad to wear them because the serge in the uniform is rough. That'll make you sore. So I thought, where the hell can we put our ciggies? So we've got our bikes. We biked to the airfield, through the airfield, and we saw a flasher. That's what they used to call them in them days.
What's
didn't
that?
they?
I don't know what that is.
You don't
Oh, you
know
mean-
what a flasher
Oh, you mean
is?
a proper flasher? Like now, who strips off?
That's right.
I didn't think they would have those in your day. Hazel, I'm shocked.
Yeah. So in actual fact, what happened was we were a bit frightened, and the customs officers were there and watching out, and so we stuffed all these ciggies in our passion killers. You see.
Which were knickers, another way for
That's
long-legged
right.
knickers.
That's right.
Strap
Yeah.
plastic strap just above the knee.
How do you know?
Well, I pull it aside and drop things in.
You never wore them, did you?
No,
No.
the girls did.
Yeah. All you know.
Oh, yeah, we knew that.
And then Hazel, you said you got on your bike and pedalled like hell
Yeah.
across the customs because you were asked.
Very uncomfortable on the bike. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Tell you who I was friend with, Brian Smith.
Yes,
And
Smudgy
he
Smith.
was killed, wasn't he? He was on
Yeah,
the
I
back
know,
of a
yeah,
lorry
yeah.
and he walked round the side, wasn't he? Or something?
Well, I'll give you some more names and I'll name that You might well name it for you now, because that's not a name everybody knows. Zarkos.
Oh, the Zarkos.
They are, you
Do
see.
you know what? You know the little river with the bridge? Well, you know, you come over
Yeah.
and the stream. A lot of water, he went there. And
Yeah.
he was in a mini and he got stuck.
Gus Andre.
Gus, yeah,
Because there was Maria
that's right.
Zarkos, Anita Zarkos, Andrea Zarkos, Peter Zarkos. And
The
they all,
old lady was lovely, wasn't she?
I was like a second son with them
Well, she
because
was
Andre
lovely.
and I were friends. And you was always welcome as a friend to go into their house.
Yeah,
Because the old man, I should say the old man, because she used to call the old man, used to work on the railway as a carpenter.
that's right. And then he worked for Coles, the
That's right.
furnishers, and making coffins.
Yeah.
Now we're getting them another.
I
Yeah,
can
and
tell
my
you a
dad
re-
used to help them because he was a cabinet maker and that, you see.
I used to do a paper round for George Walden, the Walden.
So did I. I never met you on my travels.
You did if you can't remember. I'm glad you can't remember.
There's not many of us left now, is there?
I know, there's more and more coming.
There he is. That's this lot.
That's this lot here.
So did you know Ivy and Ken Wright?
I do.
Did you? Who used to run the Crown?
Yep.
I lived opposite them. We were great friends, and Ken. And I went and Ivy lost a lot of her friends. And then Stuart,
Her son.
her son,
Yeah.
and David, her son, called round to see me and said, will you go and see Ivy? She's given up, you know, she don't want to do it. And I went and saw her every Monday or Tuesday and took a little things fan and that. And they phoned me up and said Mum passed away. And yeah.
She had such a good spirit, didn't she, Ivy?
She
what
was
do you
nice.
remember?
Can I tell you what I think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was, I tell you what, she was very attractive.
That's exactly the words I was going to use, mate. She had an older sister, Joyce.
That's right, I know her. Married Bibby the
Mary
footballer.
Bibby, the footballer,
Yeah.
played for Stowmarket.
Yeah.
And then there come Ivy, and she was beautiful.
She
Absolutely
was, her
beautiful.
hair was always
The boys all,
immaculate,
me
yeah.
included.
Yeah.
And
So you
a boy.
fancied her, did you?
You know, we was the right age.
I wish she was here with us.
Yeah.
So do I.
She's
So-
up there somewhere.
So do
Yeah.
I.
Yeah,
She
Maggie
was
knew
lovely.
her and Ken extremely well. Very
Yeah.
fond of
And
her.
my son and Stuart played together because I lived in Crown Street and they kept the Crown.
Yeah.
And yeah. And
So
she-
Ken
and
won her heart.
and then
though.
all of
It
a
was
sudden,
Ken
Ken died.
Did you know Ken as
I
well?
knew Ken live in the Crown pub. But we do know he kept the Crown because my relations lived in Cardinals Road and Spring Row.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Cardinals Road and Spring Row.
Yeah.
Grandad Hawkins did them little row of cottages.
Oh yes.
Did you know
I
that
used to go out there for milk.
for milk?
Yeah.
Oh, that was the opposite side of the road. Steele's Farm.
No. I know. We're apart from each other. I'm talking about Crow Street.
You're talking about Crow Street.
Crow Street.
Yeah, Crow Street. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to go there for milk.
We used to go down Cardinals Road from the Crown,
Yes, that's
and at the
right.
bottom of Cardinals Road, you turned left
Yeah.
and went up Spring Road,
Yeah.
and that's where my grandparents lived.
So I must know you from somewhere. Must know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe
Oh.
he's just got
That'll
more.
come to me of a
It will.
Yeah.
You'll have to ring
that,
me.
that goes
Hazel.
with age, you see.
But not only did my grandparents live there, I had an uncle live there as well, Uncle Cecil. Tommy, we used to call him. Uncle Cecil married Jane, and if you used the Crown pub, if you just go to the Crown where Ivy kept, he always used to be in the what we call the skip.
The
Never-
slip.
Yeah.
We could never make out why you never went in the. I think I told you this
Yes,
before.
we
Yeah,
He never used to go in the pub. He always used to be in the skip.
I don't know what that means.
The
Slip.
slip, a little bit
Slip.
outside.
You could buy jug and bottle, go in there and buy something to take away.
Oh, right.
Off licence, I guess.
And as the children,
that
we used
was.
to be able to go in and get a penny drink.
Oh, right.
They used to open the glass, give you a penny drink.
Yeah,
We used to go down to the walnut tree.
yeah, walnut tree was the same. Yeah.
The
that got
same,
slip.
yeah. And but the Crown, I know that very well because my husband used to go over there 9 o'clock every night.
Every night.
Yeah. What I remember about the wreck was when they cut the hay. We used to bid and whatever. We used to build these dens, you know,
Yeah, that's I do
And
know.
that-
Yeah.
and we always used to have our boyfriends in build. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, but
Oh, yeah.
don't forget the wreck. And if your mind is going back, I'll jog your mind.
What
back-
happened to the? There was a fountain.
Oh, yeah, fountain.
Is
Yeah.
it still there?
Yeah.
It was still
Is
there when
it?
I
It's
left.
been moved and moved back.
Whereabouts is it? Near the memorial
Yeah.
gates?
It sounds a wicked thing us boys used to do with that, and I mean that wasn't very nice.
Yeah, we.
We used to drink out of that.
Yeah, but we used to get the girls to drink and then push their heads down, you know. Yeah,
Awesome.
but I shouldn't say that. That's
Oh, yeah,
cruel.
that's all right. That's called playing. Remember,
True, I weren't
adventure
then.
Playing.
You got to watch what you say here. You might be
Yeah,
seen.
but I'm going back to the wreck there where we used to have more fun was up in the air raid shelters.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
I like the railway
yeah.
shelter. That big, huge one. It was square. You've got to be early to get your place when it got dark.
Yeah, there used to be, what, 14 shelters or something like that. Well,
Yeah, I
lot
know.
of them.
Yeah, a lot
Off
of them.
Walnut Tree Walk down the wreck. I was like, you
And then
did
there was the little one, wasn't the little shelter? That
the little
was more
shelter, that's
nearer.
where, yeah,
Yeah,
the shelter.
and there was 4 sides to that, you see.
Yeah, you could sit
So
on
if you couldn't get in the big shelter,
No.
you went in the little
the
shelter.
memorial shelter. The memorial shelter was the big one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's called the memorial shelter. Used to get if that was raining, we'd get the football in there and kick it about in there.
And then there was the concrete there where
Swimming
we used
pool,
to swim,
diving.
didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was still there when I was a
Yeah,
child,
yeah,
wasn't it?
that
Yeah.
was definitely.
Yeah.
Down at Combs Ford.
No,
On the wreck, on the wreck.
Oh, on the wreck.
In fact, if
Yeah.
it get really dry until they built the skate park or whatever, you could still see from above where the concrete was, the mark. in it.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Do you know Walnut Tree Walk?
Yes.
And there's a lane
Yeah,
come
yes,
down.
I know that.
Yeah, you come down the lane and
Yeah.
there's the junior school is on the
Yes.
left, and you turn right, and there was the bathing pool. This concrete bathing
Yeah.
pool.
Yeah.
If you carried on down the lane, you come out to Fiddler's Garage.
Yeah. And there was the shed where the caretakers were.
Yeah.
Well, one, Ted Grum. And he used,
Yeah,
'cause
yeah, I know.
I was born in Walnut Tree Walk,
Was
you
you?
see. Yep.
Well, so
And-
Mervyn Jolly lived there, did he?
Yes, he
Well, he would have
did.
done. He's a brother.
Yeah, well, he was.
He was a blooming nuisance.
No, he weren't to me. No.
So
No.
just cast your minds back to Danecroft Villa, the big house that was on
Yeah.
Winborough Road.
It's right on the road.
It was a beautiful house.
Was it?
Do you
But was it-
remember, Hazel? What do you remember about the house?
I can't. All I know is a woman I know went and pinched when that went empty. She went and pinched all the cuttings off flowers.
Well,
That's sensible.
it was a beautiful
Yeah.
nursery garden and
Yeah.
well renowned across the country, I think.
And was it Major somebody lived
There was a Major Fancourt and a Major Lewis. Was
Sandy
the,
Guide.
the last,
I don't know.
I think the last major, because several people owned that who were really renowned in the British Army in India. They didn't necessarily live there all the time. But Charles Turner as well, long before your time, but he had what became Woolworths. Charles Turner did live there for decades.
What, who had
And
the draper's
Oh,
shop?
I turned
He was the draper's shop
Yeah.
that was where Woolworths were. A
you remember
huge
that's right.
shop.
And
I
like,
don't
do
know
you-
if you remember that
Yeah.
shop.
I remember Turner's and
But do you remember Preston's?
who's?
Preston's.
Yeah.
Right on
Preston's,
the
yeah,
corner
yeah,
where
Preston,
Dewhurst were.
Yeah.
We used to go in there to shop, you see, and that was wonderful, really, because you bought something, and then you sort of give the girl the money, and there was a container they used to put it in, and then they used to
Pull the chain.
pull it
Shove.
out, like that to the office, and you get your change like that. That was
Yeah,
good.
but they would do that for doing it, even if you didn't have anything, would just see you got to do it.
Oh.
Yeah.
As young lads, I think,
Yeah.
and almost used to
That
fly
used to-
crap.
yeah, that'd have killed somebody if that they
It
got
really
in the
did fly
way.
across, glass bang.
Yeah.
Would you like to walk down to the bridge and have a look from the bridge and just look over? That's all we're going to do. And look, I'd like you to see the bridge now.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to play there underneath
You
Underneath
can.
the bridge.
with my boyfriend.
Was
Not guilty.
No,
that your husband or an earlier?
no, he's gone.
An earlier.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how could you get under the bridge? Did you not sink in the water? Which was
No, we used to get under there. That wasn't very deep.
And before we
Yeah.
get there, is this one of the bike things, that red brick?
yes,
Red brick. Yeah, we used to get there. Get under there.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you want us to show you if we get down there
No.
what we used to do?
We could have a
Can I say something?
demonstration.
She will
Yeah,
demonstrate. She
demonstrate.
will
Yeah,
demonstrate.
yeah.
She will demonstrate.
We'll get them two to get underneath the bridge.
Have you got
Buckle used to own that little bit.
Did
Yeah, did you know the Buckles?
No, all I knew was the old Beaumont,
Yeah,
where
that one.
this house belonged to.
Yeah,
didn't it?
that's
Yeah.
it.
Oh, he was a miserable old so-and-so, he was.
Yes, so we understand.
Yeah.
Yes,
Was he the one that used to put the
that's it.
skins on the
Yes,
fence?
yes, you've got it.
Scare people away?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, yeah. Now, just there is Coombs Lane.
That's it.
Yep. Now, what is that?
That's where Gareth lives. You know, that does the eggs.
Is it?
Yeah, that's where Gareth Hart lives.
Yeah. But you see, this was all clear and there was all pebbles and everything there.
Yeah,
And we used to get down here. Yeah.
yeah. There's still loads of flint on the bottom.
Yeah.
catch you sort of reminiscing and seeing it?
Look, sorry, Hazel.
I done that for
Oh, you tried to tip me over, didn't
Yes,
you?
I did. I wanted to know if you could still swim.
I can swim.
That's my
I've had
your
a
poor
swim.
tricker.
You had a swim last
Yeah.
So this is the bridge, and Five Finger Wood is just over there.
Over there.
Oh, I can tell you about Five Finger
What
Wood.
can you tell me about
Oh,
that? There you
that
go.
you didn't
That's
know.
not, I haven't got to talk. Listen to the voice.
Go on then,
Yeah.
off you go.
No, I'm not telling you.
Oh, Hazel,
I can remember
Too
you.
fruity.
you with friends.
Too fruity.
You with
I like a bit of
friends.
fruity. It's entertaining.
There must be a snippet that's permissible to share.
Well, you know
We
where
used to
Five Finger
spend-
Wood
We
is?
used to spend all day there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Spend all day Five Finger Wood?
Yep.
All day.
Yeah. Took our sandwiches.
Well, if you hadn't, we'd eat. You used to say the old Cheddarwood boys would come and eat your sandwiches quick as they were. But if you Five Finger Wood, on the other side of it was what we called the Big Wood one.
That's right.
Yeah,
The
you
Big
know,
Wood.
the Lying Wood and Five Finger Wood was there, and the Big Wood was the
That's
other
right.
side. We
Yeah.
called it the Big Wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think Five Finger Wood now on a map is called Dales Wood,
Yeah.
and the big wood is called Temple Grove,
Mhm.
with the concrete drive up to Boyton Hall is in the middle.
Yeah.
It separates the two woods.
So, yeah, that's what I
Because
do,
those
yeah.
woods are the oldest woods,
Yeah.
along with Northfield Wood. Which is
Northfield Wood, yeah, we know Northfield Wood.
But
Yeah.
it's funny that you gravitated and came to Five Finger Wood. That's where you chose to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Hazel, what did you get up to?
Nothing.
please?
We behaved ourselves.
Even though
looking-
you were there all day long.
Yes.
Let's see if I got a name in.
Look.
Just make sure I got a name in there.
And what was this? A group of girls?
That's why I don't recognise you.
What was that?
I never saw your face, did I?
No. You was interested in everything else, weren't you?
Well, I don't know about that.
Well,
Took
you
all
weren't
day.
interested in the face. You must have been.
So, were you a group of girls who used to go for the day, or were you a mixed group?
A
Because you've
mixed-
always talked about a group of boys rather than a mixed
The
group.
mix.
Or you just met up there.
Yeah.
Boys used to go together, but the girls always used to go on their own. But they used to know where we were going.
Yeah.
To a lesser extent, my daughter, I was just saying about my sister, she'd pass the message around that they're going Five Finger today, and who should go there but the girls as well, you know.
I
The girls of Cherry Tree Road.
Oh, right.
Yeah, all younger than us.
So were these fields all farmed then with barley, with crops? Do you remember anything about the crops or what was grown?
We weren't interested about them, no.
We just went in the 5 Finger Wood, didn't we?
Yeah.
All the big wood,
All our dens. We
all the
made
big
dens
wood.
anywhere we went. Yeah.
Yeah, but you see,
You like our adventures?
I love
don't
your adventures.
yeah, I don't honestly think we were the poorest part of the town.
you? No.
Right.
Cherry Tree was the roughest part of the town. It was known as the roughest, but that weren't the worst. They're lovely brick houses, and I suppose they're still standing to this day. So they're not.
Well, in Walnut Tree Walk, there was semi-detached, and with the neighbours, we were very friendly, you know. Yeah. But we used to have cupboards in our room, and we used to drill a hole through the through the wall, and we used to pass our messages through. Yeah,
To your neighbour.
the neighbours. Yeah, yeah.
Like your
That was
private,
in
the
there.
private post box, really.
Well,
then,
that's
wasn't
right.
it?
We used to pass our messages through there, made a hole, roll the paper up, and stick it through.
But there was also a hole drilled between the toilets on the
Yeah.
ladies' and men's toilets.
And then we used to have a can with a bit of string on from the bedroom window, and Buddy and Anne used to have one, so we got a telephone, because you can hear, can't you? Yeah. And money didn't bother us. Well, they were poor, but we always had our chickens and cockerels and that. Yeah, for Christmas.
You know, we talk about 5 Finger Wood, but there was other places we used to be able to go. Rush's Farm, for example.
Yeah, I don't know them.
You know, you go up St Edmunds Road. That is there now. Then you could go over to the right, and Rush's Farm was there, because that's where we started this rabbit thing. You know, setting in the ditches, putting a snare in the ditch.
Yeah.
You know,
But
and I often thought about it. The farmer weren't that daft.
No,
No.
no, couldn't have been. You're probably doing him a favour.
He was, but yeah, I mean, to this day I'd vouch, or they, Rush's, they were called Rush's Farm. I'm sure they knew those boys were getting rabbits out there.
I'm sure.
And so am I now. Then we were thinking of having a good time, but I've thought about it a lot, and that they were good farmers.
did you, when the Americans come over here,
Yeah.
did you stand on the street? And what did we shout? They were in lorries, weren't they?
Yeah.
You know what we used to shout?
I don't know. What will you tell me?
Got any gum, chum?
Funny gum, Charlie. Yeah, I can't remember the one.
And they used to throw us this chewing gum in the packets, didn't we?
Oh, I had an auntie who married an American, you see.
Yeah.
Married one of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was a lot of GI brides.
Yeah, well, a lot of them
And
married.
on a Sunday we used to go over to Lake and Hazel, and we used to have a tea dance. And Muriel Melton, that huge woman, she used to be in charge of all the girls. There was a coach used to go from the marketplace.
Yeah. We used to have trips out from school.
We
didn't
laid the Lord down. You got to behave, and yeah. And they used to take us to
the Americans used to invite certain schools at certain times to the party.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
The lorries would roll up.
Yeah.
Truthfully, the Walnut Tree Walk in Stow.
Yeah.
And you'd get on your lorry, and away you'd go to whatever. Whatever American drone was
But we
doing
used
it.
to go to the
And
Americans.
there'd be, I remember these days, these big trays of things like that. We was on 2 ounces of sweet a day, you know, a month, 2 ounces of sweets a week, I should say.
I've still got my sweet coupons.
Sweet coop.
Yeah.
And there was trays of them, toffees and different sweets. Cool.
They lived
God,
But anyway, when we got to the American base, we were all hoarded into this room. And then there was the dance area outside. And if an American wanted to dance with you, you know, they used to come out and ask you to dance. If you want to stay with him, and he was nice, yeah, you used to keep with him. But if you didn't like him, we went back to our rooms.
Go back to your room.
That was the best
Your
time.
reflections are happy.
I would love to go back.
You know, you're not saying what difficult
No,
childhoods
No.
or adulthood lives you had, and I'm sure you will have had plenty of that.
Oh yes, well,
Plenty
I
of
think, I don't know whether
memories.
Hazel can remember, but we used to watch the flying bomb.
yeah.
The flying bomb come
Yeah.
over,
See the plane, and when the light went out,
and all the
know
kiddies
somebody's
like
getting
us, go, because we
Yeah.
know once that flame went out,
yeah, that's
down it'd come.
down it had come, yeah. That's
And
right.
didn't one come into?
We used to watch dog fights.
Yeah, we could watch dog fights. So as he said, yeah, there's fighters, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were here, if you like, the dog fights or the
My
actual-
children didn't know what a barrage balloon was. You see, and London that's just to stop the planes. Yeah. You don't take any notice of time, do you? When you're young and that. But it's funny how you remember these special things.
It is.
It is, yeah. And there was no problems, did there?
Well,
There
I
was-
don't. Well, I suppose there was problems, but not that I can remember.
Yeah, that's right.
There was. I think there
How
was.
old are you? Excuse me. You can whisper.
I was born 1934.
Yeah, well, I was born in 1933.
See there, you're an old gal, you see.
Bloody cheek.
Well, you're an old gal. No, but if you've got to remember that the age we are,
Yeah.
well, 39 was when the war started.
Yeah.
5-year-old boy.
Yeah.
It was not only the war; it was the experience of seeing
yeah.
these flying bombs.
Yeah,
this,
we
these
didn't
air,
realise they were sort of
you know,
so
Spitfires
dangerous.
versus the
Yeah,
Hawker Hurricanes,
Yeah.
because one was called a Hawker Hurricane,
Yeah.
and my surname bit was that when I was a boy I was always a Hawker Hurricane, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but you could see several, you know, you could actually see them firing at each other up there.
But that was years before we saw a banana. We didn't know what a banana,
Banana
or an orange was. And then when they said, "Oh, Scotchman's got a big supply of bananas coming," there was queues for it. Queues. Yeah,
But
yeah.
but
And if you wanted some vinegar, you have to take your bottle, and they got it and they filled it up. If you want a sweet, they make the sweet bags. They like the cones, fill them up. Yeah.
Do you think?
back to the tomato plant, in that what we call the osier bed there.
Yeah.
One was dropped in there, I'm sure. And I can remember one dropping on what we call Rush's farm,
Yeah.
you know, which would be Berry Road there.
Yeah.
And used to have a white drive. We used to go up towards Rush's farm. I think there was one drop from there.
So I'm just wondering, you know, why they would be coming over here.
Because there's
Well, the
a lot of
aerodromes,
American
all the
airbases all the way
airfields.
around here, wasn't there?
Yeah,
You've
yeah.
got Watersham Aerodrome. And
Of course.
That was done.
But it was purely hit and miss then, weren't it?
They all were, yeah.
All
There's
hit
there's
and
no
miss.
specific target. They just sort of let them off, and that's the channel they were going to go. And when the fuel dropped out, so
when the fuel
they
stopped,
fell.
that was when it
Once the
became an
noise
explosive
stopped,
bomb.
that was it, yeah.
Just when the fuel stopped, down come the bomb. And
Because
as I said, many of the people used to stand out, go on, go on, go on. Yeah, they and a funny name, didn't it? A sound one. Yeah. Here come one,
It
yeah.
was a pulsating. Was
That's
it a Jono
right.
engine? Wasn't it?
Yeah,
Pulsating Jono.
that's how it used to come. And we all get out and watch it flying. And they pushed it over to somewhere and let somebody else have it.
Did you get any V2s over here?
I don't know if they had V2s over here or whether it was just going over to London.
To London, yeah. Because that would have
Well,
been
the V1
Oh, yeah, that was
rocket,
late
Yeah.
44 really.
well, they was just rockets, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were set on the target and went. But this Doodlebug, as we used to call it, just was an explosive bomb flying. As soon as the petrol or the juice ran out,
That's
down
it.
it would
Remember-
come.
Yeah, my dad used to tell me about them,
Yeah.
Because at I Airfield, the daylight bombing raid, on one occasion, the Americans came back, did the daylight bombing raid, flying over the airfield, taking all the guns out and everything, saying, oh yeah, down the pub and everything else like that. As an intruder came in behind them and shot them down. The guns are all sort of taken out their posts and just all ready to sort of get land and have a few beers, and they got shot down over their own airfield.
So thanks for watching today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If it stirred any memories for you, then leave a little comment below. And again, it would help me if you click the red subscribe button and the little bell icon so you get notifications of new videos, and I'll see you in the next one.